Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rewrites and Reboots podcast, where we look at bad movies and ask the ultimate question: can this be fixed with rewrites, or is it so bad that only a full reboot can save the day? Now, today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Today, we have a special guest with us. Today, we have our friend Devin. Say hello, Devin.
Hey, what's good?
And as always, my name is Richard.
And I'm Robert.
Alright, and so today, we're going to be looking at the 2017 Will Smith classic.
Did you just say Will Smith classic, bro?
Yeah.
Nah, don't do that. We're not doing that, dude.
Don't do that to poor Will. He's got so many good movies. You can't do that to him.
That actually hurt my soul a little bit.
Alright, we're looking at the Will Smith stinker.
There you go.
Netflix's Bright.
Classic.
So, where do we begin?
Well, I mean, obviously, what we should talk about is what we found wrong with this movie before we get into fixing it.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, I think the first thing we have to address is obviously the blatant racism of the movie.
Mm-hmm. It did list in the synopsis is going to talk about like the interspecies tension and shit, but like they didn't really like dive into it as much as I thought they would.
Yeah, they give you this whole thing of a world where the orcs are kind of black people in America kind of thing, where police are beating the shit out of them and everybody thinks they're criminals and blah blah blah. And then they spend the entire movie not changing that. They give you one orc that they make into what white people usually refer to, or racist white people refer to, one of the good ones. Mm-hmm. You know, you look at the black kid that's doing well in school. Well, he's one of the good ones. Mm. That's what the cop, Jacoby, is in this thing. He's one of the good ones, and they treat that as that's a good thing to have. Instead of, hey, maybe let's find, stuff that justifies the orcs as not evil creatures.
Yeah, this movie definitely has this weird thing of trying to, be, politically hip, right? But not really. Like, it's like, we're going to tackle racism in a supernatural way. And you're like, I mean, I'm okay with that. Let's do it. No. And then it's like, hey, let's fall on every stereotype there is when it comes to racism and let that be somehow a good thing for our characters. Like you said, one of the good ones, right? Mm-hmm. There's so many bad things about it. It gives you so much hope in the first 20 minutes of this film. It's not a bad movie through most of the first act. It sets up a lot of interesting things. It sets up this world where orcs are a representation of black people. Elves are sort of like the one percenters, right? You have the humans that are somewhere in the middle, and they have a hatred of both elves and orcs, right? They're just multiracial.
Another thing I liked about it, too, was Jacoby was being treated differently by the other orcs for being, quote-unquote, the good one, hit with the humans and shit.
Yeah, and that worked. That was understandable because he's supposed to be the first orc to ever become a police officer. Yeah. And in a world where you are the oppressed minority within the society, one of yours joining the other side, right? Yeah, would make you mad. I mean, that happens with a lot of people today. You have a lot of people who, in today's world, who are a black police officer who gets called out all the time about why aren't you with us and this and that other, and they're like, I'm just doing my job.
He's like the Uncle Tom of orcs in a way, or at least that's how they treat him.
Yeah, that's how they treat him. Yeah. So, like I said, the movie in the first act, the first 20 minutes or so, sets up all these interesting elements. We have, we set up interesting creatures, we set up an interesting world, we set up sort of this dynamic between Will Smith and the orc cop.
Yeah, Jacoby.
Mm-hmm. We have this whole thing there, and then it gets all that within, the next second act into the third. It completely drops all that.
Yeah, once it becomes the Juan plot,
J.K. Rowling plot.
Yeah, then it just wants to be the second Purge movie, which is, hey, we're in a city trying to kill us, let's get the fuck out of here. And it does not really explore the racism and stuff that it's set up. It's just like, oh, racism? Well, it's just a background noise. It paints the picture of the city, but then we're not going to stay in that painting. We've gone on to another painting.
Yeah, which is sad because the way they set it up, the city itself almost was a character in the movie. It's set up as if it is the silent character that perpetrates through everything, right? The city is alive. The corruption is alive. The blatant racism is alive and well. The city is starts off as a real good representation or almost a reflection of society today, right? This movie, for me, in those first few minutes, gave me hope. You know, granted, this isn't the first time I've seen it, but when I first watched it, it gave me hope with those early on scenes that we were going to get this real interesting sort of retrospective, look at our world of today and paint it with the supernatural thing, right? In a really interesting way, especially since when this movie came out, it was only a year after, like Ferguson, right? Missouri.
I think it was 2 years, but yeah, it was right after the Black Lives Matter movement had blown up on the scene, and for this movie to be so tone deaf about that situation and to, almost slap that shit right in its face.
Yeah, they absolutely did early on in a scene where Will Smith goes to get rid of a fairy that's messing around with like a bird feeder or something, and he's going back and forth with like his gangster neighbors, which really didn't make no sense for a cop to be living in that kind of a neighborhood.
That is.
Right?
Yeah,
and then it has it where he finally beats this fairy and then looks at him and is like, fairy lives don't matter. And you're like, wait, what? What kind of statement is that?
Yeah, I think they were just trying to with the comedy, for real. They were trying to be edgy. Just a little bit.
I felt like it was the wrong time and the wrong actor really to do that edge.
It was too soon.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff going on, and it could have told a really interesting story. And then, like I said, by midway through the second act, all the life that was in the city is drained away to the secondary plot of magical wands, which aren't even given a proper supernatural name. They're just the magic wand.
Hey, yo, it's that wand, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, really? You built this very unique world that has all these deeper elements that we've just started to get to, and then it's like you thought the audience was too stupid to have the wands be anything other than magic wand.
Hey, yo, I got a question, though.
Okay.
This is a complaint. You know how, in the second act, you had, the Latinos, the Latino gang? They were trying to get the wand.
Yeah, with poison?
Yeah, but, the thing is, they can't even touch the wand to begin with.
Well, that was the same thing with the cops, where it's like, only a bright can do it, but you don't know until you touch the wand. So until you touch the wand, you're not going to be sure one way or another, right?
Well, there's another thing that I noticed, right, is the villain of the whole thing, the assassin that owns the wand, right? You can't touch the wand with your bare hands unless you're a bright. She's wearing gloves the whole time when she touches the wand. So maybe there's some sort of thing where if you're wearing gloves, you can still use it to maybe a lesser extent or something. And maybe that's something that's not well known. But I just noticed that throughout the whole movie, you never see her without gloves on. She is grabbing the wand and using the wand with gloves. But
I did not notice that.
But everybody else could carry the wand in a bag. They could, the one cop was able to wear gloves, pick the wand up and everything, and hold it and put it in Jacoby's bag. You can touch the wand as long as it doesn't touch your bare skin. And then, like I said, the villain the whole time is wearing gloves. So how did she use the wand? And is it possible that a non-bright could use the wand? Because remember, the other girl, Tika, I think was her name.
Yeah.
She's the actual bright.
Yeah.
Right? She's the one that actually uses the wand for the most part until the very end. So And something else too, the villain of the story tried to kill Tika, and we never got a real reason why. I wonder if that may be the reason why. The wand was Tika's. The villain wanted the wand and wanted to keep Tika from taking or having the ability to claim the wand at all by killing her.
Yeah, they really don't explore that at all. What really, other than the villain's motive, is raising up the Dark Lord and this, that, other. But they don't give a reason why the girl flipped or anything. They don't give anything there. Not to mention, when it comes to any sort of world building in which you're going to have magic, you have to have a clear understanding of the rules of magic, or at least a basic clear picture of how it works within this world, because then everything you do, anything's possible because you haven't set up boundaries, right? Look at anything. Look at freaking Harry Potter, right? For all its nonsense and stuff that doesn't make sense, it has a very straightforward magic system, right?
Yeah.
It's clear cut, right? How it works.
I mean, hell,
right?
I got a school for it. So.
While it's not magic, it works off the same principle. Avatar: The Last Airbender with bending, right? Those are clear-cut rules on how that works in relation to the rest of the world. In this movie, magic was just the MacGuffin for everything, right? It just works for everything, and that bothered me a lot.
And even, throughout this entire movie, we still didn't get a chance to see the Dark Lord. That would bum me most.
I mean, I can feel that too, because it felt like he's pretty hyped up all throughout this.
Yeah.
And then we kind of don't even do anything with it.
See, when we get a scene he's almost risen, about to fuck shit up. I'm like, where he at though?
I think part of it is that they were planning on this becoming more, right? Because you kind of get that feeling that there's more to it. And obviously because of how shit they handled this movie, we didn't get any more. Because if I remember correctly, when this movie came out, the director, before it all came out, was wanting to, he was pushing for either a Bright TV series or a Bright movie series. Right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Will Smith at the time was supposed to be signing to a 3-movie deal. It wasn't specified that it was going to be Bright, but at one time I think Will Smith was supposed to do multiple things with Netflix. So that was kind of a big thing. Was Will Smith was supposed to be now Netflix's new, big shot. But it didn't pan out. But the thing about that, though, is if you thought you were going to be able to do more of it, then you wouldn't have rushed this. You would have gone, okay, Netflix is saying, hey, we're going to let you do multiples. Then let's it breathe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you have 2 hours to work with, but that's a lot of time for most movies. Most movies are only, 90 minutes or so, right? That's an average. So if you've got a full 2 hours to work with, you've got plenty of time to set it up. Plenty of time to build the world, plenty of time to establish the magic system, and plenty enough time to build that relationship between Will Smith and his orc partner.
I think you were talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. They pretty much set their magic system up in the first episode, and that's a 30-minute show, right? Mm-hmm. They explain how all of them bend and whatnot within just a couple of seconds. You could have explained all of magic in a 2-hour. I mean, you could have done the history of their fucking magic in 2 hours and still pulled off a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, and see, that was the thing, for me, this movie is a rewrite, because obviously I don't think you can replace Will Smith. I think he works. Will Smith as an actor, knowing what he's capable of, is too good to pass up in this movie.
So, the one thing that I don't like is that this was Will Smith when Will Smith was Serious Smith, right? He wasn't like he was in Men in Black, Wild Wild West, or Fresh Prince Will Smith eras, right? Mm-hmm. Where he was the fun-loving. This is Serious Smith.
This Bad Boy Smith.
Yeah, and the thing is, I hate that Will Smith because it's Bourne Smith. At this point in time, I honestly could have we could have replaced him. I mean, you could have gotten Michael B. Jordan to fucking been in this movie. This was right before he did Black Panther, but I think it was right after Creed. Right?
Also around the same time, I think, as Fantastic Four that he was in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was already putting his chops in. If you wanted somebody to not be Will Smith, Bourne Smith, and you wanted somebody that could be more like the Fresh Prince Will Smith, you could have put Michael B. Jordan in here. But yeah, you could have.
Well, and if you wanted, I don't think Michael B. Jordan would work because of how young he is. Because the whole premise of Will Smith's character is he's sort of a veteran cop who's near a pension and everything. So if you were going to replace him with somebody not Will Smith, at that point, you either go a serious actor or you go a comedic actor, right? So if you went serious, you'd go like the guy from Thor as well as Luther, right? You'd put him in it, right? He would have worked. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name either. That makes me mad.
I was gonna say, you kind of get a snippet of comedic Will Smith towards the end, and I kind of wish that was the entire movie.
Yeah, because that was the big thing. Is like if we were gonna rewrite this, for me, I think that Will Smith can work if we have Will Smith be, Will Smith, not Serious Smith, not Bourne Smith, as you put it. So I mean, if you had gone with more of, like I had pointed to you while we were watching it, if we'd gone more like Rush Hour meets, Crazy Magic World with Will Smith.
Ooh, could we get Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker in there, man?
Yeah, Chris Tucker would have worked great in here too.
Yeah, because Chris Tucker is still Chris Tucker even
Jacoby?
now.
Jacoby.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Oh
now
my
that you're thinking
God.
about it, I think that, I don't know.
I would have loved that. I would have dropped Will Smith in a heartbeat for fucking Chris Tucker.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
I hadn't even thought of that one, but yeah, that would have been fantastic.
That motherfucker got a wand! Ah! Yeah, I'm like, hell yeah, Chris Tucker. Get that check, dog.
Because then you could have gotten into a lighter elements of the action and gone, and because we were talking, Rush Hour, like the fight scenes when they were fighting the elves, and the elves are obviously superior kung fu masters, and these are street cops that are trying to fight them. We could have literally gone Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 1 when he didn't know kung fu and he's fighting all the kung fu people and getting his ass kicked, and he's just kind of like throwing chairs and punching people, and like he'll point a gun and the guy takes the gun away from him and he does it back and they keep going back and forth. We could have done something like that if we've gotten like a Chris Tucker instead of
And
Will
when he
Smith.
finally like grabbed the wand, that would have been great because he actually like, oh shit, I got the wand.
I got the wand.
I got the wand.
What the fuck do I do? Like that would have been
That'd been fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, I actually think that would be a great idea because, I had this thought as you were talking about one of the best ways to get serious points to actually set in with people, right? To really push a positive message through the racist world and stuff that we're building in this movie, right? That's sort of established. Ironically, is comedy. Comedy does a really good job of being able to be lighthearted, yet somehow still have very deep, dark elements and themes there, It really works. A good example of one that plays that line beautifully, I mean, he's not exactly a great actor, but it's a really good movie, which is Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah,
Kindergarten Cop. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That movie has very dark themes throughout the early parts of that movie. Goes into this lighthearted fuckery that happens, and then at the end of the movie, we switch back to a sort of gritty action flick. Right? It does a really good job of that. And that is, I did not expect tonight to be making Kindergarten Cops as a reference.
Who's your daddy and what does he do? God, that'd be great.
But yeah, so, comedies can work that way. So yeah, I actually think, I love Will Smith to death, but I think Chris Tucker would have been a better choice. That would have been a whole different thing.
That would have been a whole different
movie. You know what? Make what's his name, the orc?
Who?
A boy from Friday.
Oh man, yo,
That would have been
Yeah.
hilarious. Because he's
Ice
the
Cube,
serious one of the group
Ice
anyways.
Cube,
Yeah, Ice Cube?
I mean, he was Ice Cube was wasn't he in Tank Girl?
I don't know.
Or who
no,
was-
that was the other guy from Law and Order. That was
Yeah. Sweet Ice T.
yeah, Ice-T.
Yeah.
Ice T.
Yeah. Ice T. Ice.
Okay, that's why I was getting them confused. But
Yeah, they both got ice in them.
That's a movie we're gonna have to review at some point.
which one?
Tank Girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's so much work's gonna be needed on
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like Tank Girl.
I mean, I feel
It's-
you.
Bro, man, see Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. Oh man, that been
That would have been interesting because
'Cause
you know Ice Cube.
Ice
is
Cube's
kind of
naturally
serious.
already mean too.
Yeah, he's already got that sort of like he's always serious.
Yeah.
But his seriousness is what's the funny stuff about
Yeah,
him.
But we're
makes
gonna
sense.
have him the orc,
yeah.
Yeah.
or are we having Chris Tucker the orc? Because at this point,
Nah, man,
I
Chris
kind of
Tucker
you gotta
as a
go.
cop.
You gotta go. Chris Tucker as the cop.
You got to.
Yeah, I
You
see
got
what
to.
you're saying. Like, I want to put him in a movie just for the hell of it at this point.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
because Jacoby was kind of the comedy one, because he was like wet behind the ears noob,
Mhm.
and so if we're going with Jacob, you know, the same thing, then Chris Tucker's the orc, wet behind the ears with
They wouldn't be the same. bro.
Yeah,
it
it
wouldn't
wouldn't
work.
be the same.
Yeah, it
I
wouldn't
feel
be the
you.
same.
It was a nice lovely dream I was having.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I guess you know Chris Tucker would work if you went that route. I don't know who you'd have play the orc then.
The same
I
guy.
mean, the
The
same
same
guy
guy.
can play
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
he did
that's what I
a
was
pretty
gonna
solid
say.
job, honestly.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job, but I think that could work. You know, because then it takes the pressure in a lot of ways off the movie. Because I think Will Smith is at this place of his career where he keeps trying to be considered a serious actor, but we don't want him to always be a serious actor. Don't get me wrong. Love Pursuit of Happiness. You know, I love some of the other stuff he's done, right?
The Pursuit of Happiness and 9 Pounds are the only serious Will Smith movies that I
9
like.
pounds or 7 pounds?
I think it's called 9 Pounds. It's whatever. It's the whatever. How much the heart weighs.
Yeah, something like that.
But then he went on and he did After Earth, which is supposed to be like a
That was the worst
father
movie.
son movie, and I've
That
never
was the
felt
worst
like
movie.
they it's a father son movie played by an actual father and son, and I felt like these two weren't related at all. It was the worst movie ever.
Hey,
and
Dad,
I
I'm not
wouldn't
your
even
dad.
try to reboot
I
it.
mean, that's because he wanted his son to follow in his footsteps and be an actor like him. And I'm sorry, but old boy cannot act. He's not meant for it.
No,
Nah.
it was shitty in the reboot of
When I saw him in
King-
Karate Kid, I got
Karate
so
Kid.
mad.
Yeah,
Yeah, that movie sucked.
he's terrible.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I guess if you take Will Smith out of it, and I feel sad that that's where we've come at this point in a lot of ways.
I don't want to do it to him. I love Will Smith.
Yeah.
I know. I love Will Smith. I wanted to be Will Smith when I was older, you know, getting older and whatnot. I wanted that kind of the wit, the charm, the what word am I looking for here?
Swag.
The swag. Yes, I
Yeah,
wanted
for
all
sure.
of that. And when he got old, it was like he fucking became a robot, and now he's just, you know,
Trying to get out of entanglements and shit.
Well,
just watching him become the biggest cuck in the world just makes me sad. Like I cry for him.
Bro, that was the worst day in history when I figured out he got an entanglement. that shit was rough,
yeah,
buddy.
I mean that was crazy because everybody's like, "Oh, Will Smith's gonna do the red table," and then you're like, "Oh."
Y'all didn't know.
Your wife is like, yeah, I fucked another guy.
Who
And
was
you just
half
deal.
my age.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with it, bitch.
I
And
like
it was
how-
like, no, man.
Nah, dead ass. I like how Will Smith like entanglement. You mean relationship? No, we had an entanglement. Will Smith's face just like, bro, come on, dog. Come on, man.
God.
All right. Anyways, back to
Yeah, we're getting a little sidetracked now.
My
We're
fault.
we're
We
now
are get-
looking at Will Smith,
my fault.
the broken man.
Will. I love you, Will.
You know.
We love you, Will.
We love you, but at the same time, you weren't good for this movie as Sirius Smith. And honestly,
If he had gone more Wild West Men in Black, he could have worked.
Worked
could've
it out. Yeah,
worked.
worked it out. Yeah.
but he just doesn't want to be that actor anymore,
Mm.
which is why I'm suggesting Chris Tucker or
Don't you say Kevin Hart?
No, fuck no.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the right answer. Okay, cool. We all on the same page.
I'm not doing
think-
Kevin Hart.
Don't get me wrong. I think Kevin Hart's pretty funny at times.
He's funny at times.
But I feel like we're oversaturated with Kevin Hart these days. Like, Kevin Hart is, don't get me wrong, he hustles for sure.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
Bro is in everything.
Like,
if
I
they
don't-
need a short black guy in a film that has any kind of comedy elements, they're like, Chris Hart.
I just don't want a movie where he's like always getting shot at. He's like the whole time. I don't want that, bro. I really don't.
Also, I feel like he's too short to be a cop. Like that orc
Bro,
would
what
have
you
taken
mean?
that orc would have taken
Ow,
his head off
what
with that
you
shotgun.
talking about?
Prejudice against short people.
Wow,
What you got
bro.
to say, man?
No,
Listen-
that's Hiatus, though.
Little
What are you
people
talking
can't
about?
be police.
Listen
Wow.
here.
I thought
if Kevin Hart had been the fucking cop, when that orc went out the door, he would have shot Kevin Hart in the face because he couldn't aim for anything else at that height. It would have been head gone, shoulders gone, torso gone, and there would have been little stubby knees and legs left.
80. If he survived that, hey, that's a tough call, dog.
Yeah, but I just don't see Kevin Hart
Yeah,
as
you
a
couldn't do
cop.
Kevin Hart either because no one is intimidated by Kevin
No!
Hart.
Look at this
You could
short
not-
motherfucker
Kevin
tryna-
Hart could
tryna
not
beat
play
me
a
up, man.
serious cop, veteran
Look
cop who's supposed to be like this real tough.
Poison in the wheelchair would have kicked his ass. And it would have been the funniest thing. Like, he would just come out with, like, a fucking, like, cane or something and beat his ass while sitting
Hey, you
in a
remember
wheelchair.
when the orcs jumped Will Smith? Imagine that being Kevin Hart in that situation. He would make it, bro.
He would just been like, why you gotta do this? Ah,
Help me.
Yeah.
I'm a grown-ass man.
Are you though, dog? Are you?
Are you sure you're not a dwarf in this world?
See, now I gotta beat you up for lying to me. You ain't grown. We just
Hey,
roasted
look,
Kevin
it's-
Hart for like 2 minutes.
Hey, look, it's a halfling. I'm a grown-ass man.
Are
you
you?
are a child.
You child. Yeah,
Terrible.
man. Speaking
All right.
speaking of children, I do want to talk about one more thing though.
Okay, that was a weird angle.
Hold on, wait. Let me fix that. So little children orcs, right? They do a little kid to pick up the truck. I'm still upset by the fact that Jacoby didn't like put in work with his strength and shit.
Well, see, that was an argument we were having before we started recording. Is I thought that was symbolizing that all orcs are, innately strong, supernaturally, superhero-sized strength naturally, which would make sense because they were the race picked by the Dark Lord, and it took all the other races to band together to stop them. Right? That makes sense. Now, Robert was pointing out that they, it could be, they work out and it's more variant like humans and stuff, but I don't think that's how it would have been. I think the point of showing that kid being able to pick up a car like it was to show that
No, it
even
wasn't
as-
the kid. It was a guy that picked up the car, and then the kid got the soccer ball from underneath
I
the
could
car.
have sworn that was a child picking
No.
up the truck.
Well, even
It was
so,
a
I
man.
think it was
Okay.
supposed to symbolize the orc's natural strength.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean to tell me Jacoby couldn't rip down that fence when he had to save Will Smith?
I mean, he kind of does because we have him standing at it, and then later on he comes walking through. So obviously he had to have done it.
Okay, I'm about to say like Jacoby, if you don't rip that motherfucking fence, you're gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
All those muscles, you can't use them, bro. What's going on? What's
I mean, he
going
really
on?
was not a muscular
He was
orc.
he intimidated me.
He was a little bit.
Like I wouldn't fight Jacoby.
Get him to speak up.
Oh, you good? Can you hear me now?
I mean, not when you talk like that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
All right, there you go. Cool.
I'm just letting you know you were talking a little low.
Oh, my fault.
You getting that mumble?
I'm sorry.
Are you a mumble rapper?
Don't do that to me.
Oh,
No, don't do that.
Oh, so you Takashi now.
Oh, I will hurt you, Robert. Don't do that. I don't snitch on folks. Actually, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking.
Let's not.
Yo, cops, we got one.
Hey, I got him. Got him during the podcast.
Yeah, this ain't a podcast. This is all going straight to the police.
God damn, I knew it. I knew y'all
It's a
said me.
setup.
I
It was
knew
a
it.
setup. Two
Damn.
white guys and black guy. What did you think was about to
God
happen?
damn it, no.
Well, this
Well-
episode's screwed now.
Welcome to the podcast, baby. Yeah, I'm in a hot seat. God damn.
Listen, we're talking about racism. We gotta put a racist joke in there.
Rich just like, I'm finna edit that out.
Yeah, it's getting edited out. It's perfectly fine.
Wait, Rob's just the editor?
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, no.
Leave that one in. Make sure
Yes.
cancer culture gets them.
Thanks, Roger. Very cool.
Thank you.
Anyways, but yeah, man, Bright was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible.
Okay. So what we understand is that we needed Chris Tucker.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to have made it more buddy cop
Yes.
kind of thing.
I agree.
Left in the racist elements, but actually properly done in a way that reflected racism, true racism, not perpetuating stereotypes.
Yeah.
Right? Would you have left in the wand?
No. I will save that for a sequel.
I think we could have hinted at things of
Toward
the wand.
Yeah.
Or we could have gone the wand was there, but take out the elf villain angle and made it the whole city going after them because of the wand and the police going after them, right? And made it sort of them running around the city, right? But also dealing with all the other stuff. I think that could have worked if you had made it the police in the streets against them and not the third element of the elves.
But how would
right?
it end, though?
Huh?
How would it end? Did they have to, like, kill the whole city and the cops?
No, they would eventually get to the feds,
Oh, okay.
but that's when we flip the switch and find out, hey, the feds were in on it all along with the elves. And that would set up your sequel where you would start to deal with the elements of the wand.
There you go. Yeah, now you give a plot twist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this movie didn't give any plot twist.
They just went straight home.
It just everything was already clear cut. Hey, these are all our villains, and you got to live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, the only thing that was semi plot twist, though, it kind of felt cliche, and even Deb was screaming the whole time. I mean, is this Orc Jesus?
Yeah, bro. Man, can I react to it genuinely?
Yeah.
Bet. So, like, I'm like, cool, man. Jacoby's dead. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a noble sacrifice. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, the elf chick, what's her name? Tika.
Tika.
Cool. I got her name right the first time. Tika was like, Vagarium Leviosa. And then fucking Jacoby's like, yo, what up? I risen. I'm here. What's good? And then all the orcs are, oh shit, it's Orc Jesus. And I'm just like, okay. That's my reaction.
That may be my favorite 2 minutes of this entire podcast so far. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, I need more of this in my life. Just him to just run through his thought process in those moments of like, bet, like just.
He's like, I live for this shit.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. How far do we let the current movie go as it is before we start changing things?
I'd say like
Because we liked the first act.
the first 40 minutes was straight.
I think the only things that I would change in the first act, right? Take out the fairy scene.
Yeah,
Take
that
out
was
the
stupid.
weird neighbors that had nothing to do with the entire plot.
Yeah.
Right? We never established that.
Yeah.
Also, I would have made it where his wife had some sort of characteristic to herself, something other than bland. She is the most, like, copy and pasted character.
She's a nurse, and that's all she is.
Yeah, and even the way she's doing conversations to him felt like someone in their first year of a soap opera, and not, someone who's established. And maybe the actress is a good actress.
Dude,
it just felt like she didn't.
She has been in so much shit. She was in Crash.
I thought you said crack for a minute. I'm like,
No.
damn.
She was in Crash. She was the cop lady in Crash.
Then I don't know if she was just written poorly.
She
was
wasn't-
written poorly.
She
probably.
didn't get enough. She didn't get any screen time whatsoever.
That was like-
Literally, we see her in 3 scenes. When Ward is getting ready for work, and she's talking to him about working at the as a nurse and how there's more stabbings and shit, and getting rid of the ferry. Then we see her when Ward calls her and says, "Get out of town now," right?
Mm-hmm.
Right after he shoots the cops. And then we see her at the very end of the movie standing in the crowd at this award ceremony. 3 times we see her. She only gets a speaking role in
At one.
One of no, she gets to say why in
Oh,
the
yeah,
second
yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
but really that's all she gets.
Okay, well then I have a way to fix that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have it since Will Smith or Chris Tucker, whoever we're putting in this role, right? If we stuck with Will Smith, right, just for argument's sake,
Yeah.
right? If we left him in, then I would have had it where since Will Smith is playing sort of a bigot cop, right? He's just there for his pension. He doesn't really care about the orcs, right? Have her be the opposite, the sort of voice of reason. Like he's complaining about how he's having to deal with this orc partner who's gonna get him killed. He already got me shot, a few weeks ago, right? Perpetrate that sort of mentality and have it where she's the one who keeps reassuring him, that orcs are not bad people. Maybe there's some good in them. Give them a chance, right? Let her be the opposite voice in his life.
So she
then she has some sort of, point of her being there beyond he needed a wife in the story.
She's like the Aunt Jill in the group. Like she basically like tell you like, hey, all orcs ain't bad and shit like that. Basically what you just said.
Yeah.
Cool. I agree with that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's like having it where she's like his voice of reason and everything. Because when he goes to the police department, he's not going to hear it. When when he's out in the streets, he's dealing with all the craziness of the gangs, right? Let her be that voice of reason and everything, and that makes him especially when his daughter makes comments about the orcs and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to remind himself about what he's teaching her. Like I love that scene.
Yeah.
Of him having to sort of break down and get past his own racist bias because he doesn't want to teach his child that. That actually was a really
That was
cool
actually
thing.
really smart.
Yeah,
that was actually
a
really good.
scene and everything. So
I like that.
That changed the way she's approached as a character. Getting rid of the fairy lives don't matter. Take those out or change that and take that out. I think the first act is perfect from then on out.
Yeah.
Right? We set it up. We set up the cops who don't like the orc. We set up where they want him to sort of snitch on him or screw him over. Right? Let that all be within your first act, and you're good.
Yeah.
On first act, right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then go into the second act. Have it where things go bad and the corrupt cops get a hold of the wand. Right? From there, you can get into that stuff. Right? But make it one. I wouldn't have him where he killed all the cops, right? I'd have it where he escapes by the skin of his teeth, right? They end up in a shootout and everything. I don't even know if I'd have Tika with him. I would just have them and the wand.
I honestly think Tika should be taken out in the movie entirely.
Yeah, because she really doesn't do much.
She just flips and gets scared a lot.
Make it where it's like he ends up having to stand up for the orc against his own police department because he knows what they're asking him to do is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leave all the other stuff in it, but I wouldn't kill all of them because then you throw away all these interesting characters early into the second act, right? Have it where now you have the police coming after him. He's got the whole police force after him. Have it where the gangs find out that there's a wand in the area, right? So now you've got the gangs on it. You got the orcs that are coming after them. Like, have it where the whole city goes mad for a single night. And now you really push into sort of that buddy cop racing around the city trying to survive, getting fucked up. I mean, they need to be fucked up like John McClane in the Katomi Tower, right? I need some real fucked up shit happening to them, right? I want it not to be... I don't care if, like, the cinematic scenes. I want it to be, like, you driving down it and get smashed by an Escalade.
You can also take the Dark Lord out of it, too. I mean, the Dark Lord wasn't really in the movie.
That's what I'm saying. You take out the elves and all that and leave that for a plot twist at the end.
Yeah, like a sequel.
And make it just, the city and the police. Make it everyone is against them. And all they know is the only people that seem to be for them are the feds. So the entire movie is them trying to make it out alive.
Because everybody else thinking, oh, it's a wand, I can do anything I want with it. Whereas in reality, it's a sinister purpose for it, but nobody knows that yet.
Because leave the wand is sort of the, and I don't usually like the practice, but in this instance, as sort of the ultimate MacGyver, or, MacGuffin, excuse me,
McMuffin.
An Egg McMuffin, please.
And it sure ain't McLovin. But, excuse me.
Damn.
MacGuffin Right, I'm okay with that because it gives a point for everybody to be chasing around each other.
Yeah.
It's almost like a briefcase full of cash
Mm.
to everybody else, right? It should have that sort of feel, like everybody is after it because they get it, they get everything, right?
You
They
know-
rule the city.
You know, we were talking right before we started recording, and we were talking about Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what Pulp Fiction fucking did. We should make this movie into fucking Pulp Fiction, with orcs and elves.
That'd be sick.
That's what this movie should have been.
I agree.
So
I
Chris
can see
Tucker
that.
would be Jules. Oh man. Oh man. Yo.
We've completely.
Listen, I don't want to know what his quotes from his Bible is going to be because they sure ain't going to be that way.
You got knocked the fuck out. That's what's gonna be a quote in his Bible, bro.
Uh-huh.
That'd be amazing. Do that. But Pulp Fiction.
I mean, basically, that's sort of what you're going with. Just keep out the twist.
Yeah, just
Nobody
a
wants
twist.
that scene. I'm sorry, that's the
Yeah.
only part of Pulp
Yeah,
Fiction
don't
that I
do that
cannot
one.
stand.
Yeah.
Is the John Travolta, Uma Thurman date
Yeah.
section of the movie. That's the
Yeah.
only part of that movie I really disliked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, that's what we would do for this movie. We would deal with the racism and stuff, but we would, by maybe having it where, like, you know, the orcs are the ones that end up kind of helping them, right? They kind of, because of the shit that he's doing, you know,
He ends up
Jacoby
being the only people that are actually allies for him are the orcs.
Yeah, because they're the ones that are tired of being treated like shit. They're tired of being associated with the Dark Lord bullshit. It's been 2,000 years, people. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? And so when this wand comes into thing and the city's under attack from humans and elves and corrupt cops and shit like that, who do you turn to? The fucking villains of the story. Or, in this case, the orcs. And then we start showing the orcs as not the evil creatures, not the bad guys, but instead we show them as the humans, or the humane creatures that they should be treated.
Yeah,
right?
That way...
And that changes, changes Ward's opinions of not just Jacoby, but orcs in general. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, he spends the first part of the movie, you know, basically, like, there's this one scene where they're watching orcs get beaten, and he looks at Jacoby and is like, while this shit's happening, and looks at him and says, you know, are you an orc first or a cop first? Which is the same as a white and a black cop watching black people getting their asses kicked by cops, and then that white cop looking at the black cop going, are you a black man or are you a cop?
Yeah.
And we never actually changed that perspective. At the end of the movie, he's still technically that guy. Yeah. He just has more respect for one orc. If we make it where it's the orcs of the city are the ones that are helping them, you know, because they hear that Jacoby is on his warrior quest, his blooded quest, right? Word gets around, this unblooded in the cops is now being hunted by the cops. He is now trying to get a wand out of the city. We need to help him.
That would be dope.
He becomes blooded through his actions of trying to help. The orcs start to help in their little ways, and then boom, you're dealing with it. So it's not just a, hey, he's the one of the good ones. No, it's the fucking whole culture is good. You just didn't see it because your racist eyes kept you from seeing it as a cop.
I think like that scene where they were like beating the shit out of Jacoby and Will and Tika. Well, Tika didn't get beat up, but I know Will did. He got his ass whooped. But you know, they were like basically kind of, that should have been like a test to see if like Jacoby was like one of them for real. Mm-hmm. And like he was like, see, you didn't fold, you didn't break. Shit, you kind of blooded for real. Like, you out here defending yourself and shit. And it's like, I guess you one of us for real.
You could have spun that differently, where instead of them going ahead and killing him at that point anyways, at that point showing that he was not willing to fold, not willing to give in no matter what.
That's some
willing
orc
to
shit.
Sacrifice himself, makes them realize that he's more orc than they thought. He's not just, you know, he's not round tooth as they were calling him and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a real orc.
That he is a real orc and everything.
That he would have been blooded, and they're like, we're going to help you on your quest, because we respect
Well, I
you.
wouldn't even blood him at that point. I would just have them understand, okay, you're definitely not, you know,
But have him at the end get blooded.
Yeah, at the end, I love that at the end for sure. Keep that stuff in it because remember, as it's stated throughout the movie, to be blooded, you have to do an act of bravery. You have to basically give some ultimate act of bravery to be blooded. So they would still let him go. He wouldn't be blooded, but the orcs would now start to understand him and slowly gain respect for him, making them willing to now assist him in getting out. Because, I mean, no one likes them anyways. So if everybody's coming after you, well, fuck it. Yeah. We'll let them come. We got your back. Right? And it helps to bridge the gap also between the orc cop and his orc people, because they make the point of saying he was raised by humans, right? So he sort of has a disconnect from his own culture and wanting to be a part of that culture, but not of that culture, right?
See, this movie has so many like opportunities to show different aspects of like black culture for real. Cause you do have some black folks that's like not really in tune with the culture like that. And, like, Jacoby could have been the perfect allegory for that, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, the orcs, like, they, like, black folks, you know what I'm saying? Like, the hood and shit. But Jacoby ain't, like, he ain't about it like that. But since Jacoby show a heart, like a hood black dude would, or a hood orc, they're like, yeah, we respect you. You about as orc as me. For real, for real. And then it's like, that's the disconnect from, like, the proper orc to the hood orc.
Not to mention the sort of having it where the leader of the orcs gang or whatever, son, ends up telling his father, "Hey,
he saved
this
me.
Man saved me,"
and that would make some respect,
and that would make him change his mind too. Instead of him going, "Son, just leave," and then I'm going ahead and killing him regardless, even though you just made comments about how
you saved my son
because you saved my son.
Yeah, that was you. Shit, I got you.
Yeah,
that's all you had to say.
That would make it where it's because of the act that technically got Will Smith, his partner, hurt, actually sets up for something more. Because really, if you think about it, when the kid tells his father, his orc father, that he saved him, that should have been a payoff from an Act 1 event, right? The opening scenes has it where Will Smith gets shot and the orc gets away, right? And then have it where, we explain later, like the movie did, right? That it wasn't the same orc, it was an orc kid. Let that actually pay off in that moment.
That after kindness paid off in there.
That at the end of the day, because he knows he can smell the difference, he doesn't just fall in line with the other people. He does what's right for the orcs, as well as right for everybody, right? Which makes him, even better.
Because, like in the hood, loyalty is everything. And, like, that would have been the perfect, like, representation of that. Like, you saved my son out of loyalty and respect. I got to help you. Like, and that's just fair.
And that's where we would get into the orcs actually helping them, right? Is from that scene, because then they'd be like, oh, it's not a bunch of dirty cops with a wand. It's two good guys about getting hunted down by cops, getting hunted down by elves, getting hunted down by gang members. And
the orcs too.
And we can either continue the prejudice thought process that put us in the process of, hey, we're now the overlord or dark lords bitches, or we can help them get this wand someplace safe, help them on their epic quest and break that cycle and be
Not only that, but, like, the orcs also don't like the elves either, and the cops, so they're like, shit, yeah, we got you, because we don't like them either.
So now that we've covered Act 1, I would say that's pretty much Act 2, right?
Yeah.
What do we do with Act 3? Because I have an idea. I have an idea that I've been stewing up right here, right?
Okay.
And it's a little cliche, but now that we have the orcs on their side, right?
Yeah.
What if we did basically the ultimate comedic shootout, right? Everybody piles on them. The police, the other gangs, everybody comes in, and now it's sort of like OK Corral comedy style.
I was just about to suggest something like that. Basically, the police get word of, hey, they're here. The evil elves get word, hey, they're here. The gang members get word, hey, they're here. And the feds hear it. Then when all of this shit goes down, right, it becomes this shootout craziness. Everybody doesn't know who's on whose side, and it becomes like this almost a battle royale.
It's like Fortnite.
Yeah, it's like Fortnite for the wand, and like everybody's flipping the wand around. People are getting dusted if they grab the wand and they're not bright.
It's in game, but with like everything else.
Yeah, exactly. We just
That's
have
wild.
one giant in-game moment.
It's basically fumble the nuclear football.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Hey, don't touch the wand, but like you got gloves on. Shit, I guess you can.
yeah. And then at the end of it is when the feds get into it. Basically, there's not a lot of people left.
Yeah.
Either everybody's been dusted for grabbing the wand or shot or killed by elven assassins and gang members. Like, I would literally love to watch Poison take out one of the elves, like the assassin elves. Like, dude in a wheelchair is, like, strolling through. Like, like, Jacoby's about to get killed by one of the elves, and all of a sudden, bam, head shot off, and he looks over, and it's fucking Poison with like a gun turret connected to his fucking wheelchair. Like, all right, where's the wand? I ain't got it, motherfucker. And like he rolls
one other
off.
funny thing to Poison, right? Since we've now established Poison's in there, I want Poison to take that baseball bat, knock someone's kneecaps, you know, right? Bring them to the ground and then run them the fuck over, like his wheelchair over someone's head. I want the Swiss Great Head moment.
Jesus Christ,
Poison,
dude.
okay?
No, he takes out the dude's knees and he goes, I'll see you on the streets I'll race you in the streets later."
That's
like
wild.
that. Like I feel like
That's
those
wild.
moments have been funny because you turn it into this massive, like you said, like Fortnite, OK Corral, this sort of ultimate, over the top spectacle battle, epic ending. Because then it actually has, you know, it there's more to it.
It's a little lighthearted, but it's also funny.
But that's fine because I think the movie would be better as more of a buddy cop movie. I think it would have been a lot better if you took away some of those serious elements and went with something else.
Yeah, because the whole film tried to be too, you know, hardcore. But there was times where I really wish they had more comedy to that shit, though.
Yeah, because it kept, like, especially the ending.
Coffee and Cream. That was the movie I was thinking about. Where at the end, remember, it's the shootout between the police and the gang members, and then Coffee and Cream.
Yeah, that is a movie that did that well. Yeah, that
Yes,
is a great movie. If
and
you
it
haven't
was
watched that, you gotta watch it.
Yeah,
Word.
it's a comedy thing because everybody, like, grenades are getting thrown off by a guy that should never have had a grenade in his hand in the first place. Like, it would literally just end in that kind of fashion where it's just this over the top bloodbath of craziness over the MacGuffin, and at the end, you know, this is the moment where Jacoby gets blooded, right, and the orcs stand up behind him for real, and we'd find out Will's is the Bright, or Ward's the Bright, and then while all this is happening, here comes the feds swarming in with helicopters and SWAT and shit,
Shutting that shit
and
down.
they shut the whole thing down. Like the one cop chief that's dirty is like, "Yo, we're trying to stop. We're trying to get the situation handled here," and the feds is just like, "Listen, this is out of your jurisdiction. Sit your ass down."
Right.
And then they bust in there right as it's like nothing but the orcs and Ward and them.
Yeah, have them where they're all broken up, they're all bloody, they're all messed up, and they look up and they're like, "Oh, thank God.
Oh, it's the feds.
Oh, thank God, feds are here." Like,
I never thought I would say this, but I'm glad to see a feds.
Yeah, like some shit like that, right? And then have it where they finally give the wand, and then I would have the guy, like, put it in a case or something, right? Looks at him and goes, "The Dark Lord thanks you for your service."
Motherfucker.
Like that be the thing, and then black screen.
Damn, that'd be sick.
Like, at the end of it all, after everything they went through, at the very end, you have it where they give the wand to the feds.
I wouldn't even do that. I would literally have it where the feds get the wand, right? And then we do the whole thing where Jacoby and them give them awards for being good and whatnot, and the mayor gives some damn speech about cleaning up the corruption and
Hold on.
whatnot.
I like the fact you said, "Hey, here's an award for being good.
Yeah,
You've been a good boy. Here's an award."
Good boy.
yeah. But then at the end of it, right, the police, that's when we get like the federal guys talking on the phones, like, yeah, we got it. The Dark Lord will rise soon,
Yeah.
right? And then leave that as
Bright too.
Bright 2, where we go off of,
Or you gotta call it Too Bright.
Too Bright.
Too Bright. You gotta be a little catchy with the names.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I
all in all,
can see
though,
that working.
the movie was straight. I liked it. It was alright.
It's all right. It didn't know what to. It changed its tone of what it wanted to be. In the beginning of the movie, it wants to be a movie about racism and whatnot, and then the second and third act are, let's just be the Purge 2.
Yeah, Purge 2.0.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah,
Fantasy Purge.
yeah. So, yeah, man, that's solid. I like that rewrite.
Yeah, it like I said, it's not bad overall. I think if with the changes that we've done, the rewrites, I think if you went more comedy, buddy cop, changed the wife's character up a bit, made it more of this sort of, gung ho, thing, it works out better. I think this would definitely be a much better movie overall, and then people would have loved it.
Yeah.
Imagine that kind of movie overall. That would have been a fucking smash hit for Netflix, 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
People would still be talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Hell, there would have definitely been sequels.
Hey, you remember when Chris Tucker tried to get a wand, man? That shit wild.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he screamed for Garmin Leviosa. That was wild as shit.
Yeah, I mean, that would have worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's how we would rewrite it / kind of rebooting it at the same time.
Yeah.
In a weird way. A lot of these movies end up being that way. We kind of blur the line a lot with these. It's really hard to clear cut them.
Sometimes. I mean, this one, it really, since the only actor we're replacing is Will Smith for Chris Tucker, I think it's still a rewrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you leave Will Smith in there. I think you can go either way and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As long as Will Smith goes MO, Men in Black Will Smith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then we're fine.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West Will Smith, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That works then.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's fine. But either way would work.
Yeah.
Alright, any final thoughts?
I'm glad y'all had me on the show. This
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. We've been wanting to get another person on. We were hoping to have more than 2 mics to do this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Daddy Trump didn't give us our check this month, so
Daddy Trump.
You know.
He said Daddy Trump.
Listen,
Yo.
that's not my father, okay?
listen, I don't know who my father is. So.
Actually, Richie, I want to tell you so much. Act like you call me Daddy. I love you like my own son. Ask anyone, all right? Ask anyone. I have a lot of sons. All right. Also, fuck China. Yeah. Okay. Roll Tide.
I'm almost a little disturbed by that.
That
how
was
good
that was way too good.
Thank you.
That was way too good. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
This has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Before we go though,
what's up?
there is one thing I do want to announce.
Oh no!
Last episode we talked about how we were thinking about starting a Patreon.
Yeah.
Right? We were considering it. We were looking into it.
Yeah.
And so we have. Our Patreon is officially live.
Hey.
You can find it on, patreon.com/rewrites and reboots.
Hey.
And it is live. If you give me just a moment, I will quickly go through some of the, tiers, just so that people get an idea.
Mm-hmm.
At first tier, for $1, you get a shout out. You also get known as a screenwriter. You're considered a screenwriter for the show, right? For $5, you're a cinematographer. You get a shout out, and you get a 3-day early access to episodes.
I like
so
that.
you would get the next episode 3 days before other people do.
Hey.
All right. At $10 a month, you'd be considered a director, right? You sit in the director's chair. And for that, you would get early access, shout out, as well as bonus content of future Patreon exclusive episodes that we are working on. Some featurettes of things that, you know, don't fit in the show format that we're doing, but we would love to do more behind the scenes, further looks into movies and things of that nature. Alright? And then the final one, which is where you are in the big chair altogether, is for $20 a month, you are an executive producer.
Hey, let's go.
You get to have everything that the other tiers do too, but you also get to vote in exclusive polls on future episode movies.
Hey.
So you'll get the power to decide what we do next.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So if you want to support us, I mean, even if it's just $1, man, we appreciate it. It would help us out. Like I said, since Daddy Trump didn't drop us a check,
He said
we really kind of need it so that we can expand into more stuff. I even have a goal set up there of $600 so that we can afford a better soundboard that allows for multiple mics and to be able to purchase a third or fourth mic and be able to do more people and you know, better quality shows. So if you've been enjoying this so far, excuse me, if you've been enjoying our episodes and you want to show your support, you know, please, you know, of course, follow us on our Facebook page. Check us out on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere that you can get your podcasts, you know, where you listen to your podcasts. But yeah, also make sure if you want to, you know, if you're feeling generous, please be a Patreon member. We'd really appreciate it.
Hey man, they've been working really hard, and like the show's actually pretty lit. So
yeah, we have bigger and better things coming. There's a lot of other movies we're planning to tackle. This was one that really was sort of Devin's pick in a lot of ways. I told him it was a movie we were considering, and Devin's first response was, "Oh yeah, I got a lot to say about this movie."
Oh yeah, man.
So I was like, "Okay, we definitely got to bring him on for this."
See, like I thought I was gonna have to get drunk, but then I realized, nah, I can be sober watching this.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a movie. It's just it doesn't know what it is halfway through. And that's...
No, if he had watched Double Dragon, he'd have wished he was
Oh,
on.
God.
Man, no, I got the best movie y'all can watch. Y'all gonna have to just, like, completely rewrite the entire movie. You know what it is? Samurai Cop.
Why? The name alone makes me go, no.
The movie is a no.
That's like Velocipaster.
Nah, man, that movie is a fucking Oscar-worthy nomination compared to Samurai Cop. Dead ass. Samurai Cop.
See Velocipaster?
No, it just sounds terrible. But Samurai Cop is pretty bad. What's the name?
The Velocipaster?
What is that?
Oh. You have not heard of Velocipaster.
We will tell you that when we quit recording.
Oh no, we're gonna find it before we
I'm
stop recording.
so scared. I don't think I should have said that, yo.
Yeah, we are definitely gonna find it. It is definitely on my phone somewhere.
Oh no, I fucked up.
Hold on, audience. We're gonna find that.
Oh no.
And we're gonna break down what Velocipaster is.
Oh man. I'm scared, dude. Oh man. But like for real though, Samurai Cop is it's pretty terrible. But it's one of those movies that's so bad is good.
Found it. Alright.
No.
I knew I had this on my phone.
Alright.
He has it bookmarked.
Damn, that's how you know.
Alright. The Velocipaster.
Okay.
After losing his parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. At first horrified by this new power, a prostitute convinces him to use it to fight crime and ninjas.
Was it bad that I kind of want to watch it? I kind of want to know what it's about.
Yeah, this movie came out in 2019. So, this isn't even an old movie. This is straight up.
You know someone got to get high and say like, yo, let's make a movie about a dinosaur.
This is from the minds that brought you Sharknado. Or the same amount of highness.
Like, yo, I got this amazing movie idea. Lay it on me. Okay, so there's this velociraptor, right? But it's a priest. And then there's a prostitute. Like, say no more. Let's make that shit.
Yeah.
Say less.
All right, so before we go, you want to shout out any of your stuff?
Oh, yeah. I made music, and I also have a podcast.
So professional. Well done, sir.
Yeah. So, you know, I have a podcast called the Lame Media Podcast. Hey, let's go. And, like, I also make music, you know, Lame Gang. And my YouTube channel is Dev, D-E-V, spaces in between. Yeah. That's my shout out.
All right.
By the way, my music slaps, so you should really, like, listen to it.
Everybody says their music slaps, but it actually does.
Yeah, my music actually pretty good. Like, I got shouted out by a YouTuber, so that was pretty cool. I was eating, like, ramen. Now I realized, oh, shit, he shouted me out. I almost choked on my ramen.
I don't know why, and this is a horrible thought I had. But,
Oh, my God. That scared me.
But what was
right.
Whitney Houston's husband's name?
Bobby?
Bobby? My brain, when he says, yeah, my music slapped, and I said, yeah, kind of like Bobby with Whitney Houston.
No! I was going to be worse to be like Ike Turner.
Oh, yeah, it was Ike Turner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ike Turner.
Yeah.
But Bobby's also pretty bad, too, though. So
I do apologize, audience, for that one. All right,
I
guys.
thought my racist joke was bad.
Oh, my God.
I mean, a light domestic violence is, you know.
By the
All
way,
right,
I just
so-
want to let you guys know I'm innocent in all of this.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching,
Listen, you need-
for listening. Excuse me.
Back in the basement now.
Oh, my God, no. Jesus Christ.
All right, I'm ending this. This is just getting weird at this point. Y'all have a great night.
All right, peace.